It is lunchtime. I'm actually feeling very hungry today, so I stopped to make myself a Nourish bowl that I saw on TikTok a few weeks ago. And this is part of it. I've got something else I'm gonna put in, but it has kale that's been massaged with lemon juice, olive oil, salt and pepper, some apple, really like heavily seasoned sweet potato, and then I'm gonna throw these like chicken breast strips over the top of it and add a little bit of balsamic glaze. I really like to use this Bertolli balsamic glaze, and it just adds like a nice sort of zingy, slightly sweet element to something that could otherwise be kind of boring. I just finished up work for the day. It was kind of a different day. I had to do Instagram like story takeovers for my work. So just got done wrapping that up. I had one more task I had to submit kind of late in the afternoon, and now I'm pivoting to home stuff. Usually my daughter gets home at 3 o'clock, and then it's kind of transitioning from work to parenting and family life. And my husband decided to take her for a little bike ride because it's so beautiful outside. So I'm really thankful for that. I'm going to sit and read a little bit. But while I'm doing that, I wanted to share what I am reading. First, I am wrapping up Stanley Tucci's second book, What I Ate in a Year. This book was a really nice palate cleanser between two kind of more heavier literary fiction reads that I read earlier in February. So that was just, again, a really nice palate cleanser. He's very funny. He knows everyone. Like, he would just casually drop that, like, Harry Styles was coming over for dinner, or, you know, I didn't know this prior to starting the book, but his sister-in-law is Emily Blunt, and therefore John Krasinski. I'm a huge Office fan, and I actually love Emily Blunt. She's in one of my favorite movies, which I wonder if this was like the first job she ever took, but it's Jane Austen Book Club. That's an oldie. So yeah, it was just a very funny, lighthearted, foodie read. I want to go back through the book and kind of just like write down his home recipes because everything he makes sounds so delicious. A few of the other books I'm reading is Daughter by Claudia Dey. I keep seeing this on Melissa's channels. She's a YouTuber. She also has a really great TikTok. And the premise of this sounded very interesting, so decided to pick that up from the library. Next, I'm reading You Think It, I'll Say It by Curtis Sittenfeld. I hate admitting this, but I did not realize that Curtis Sittenfeld was a female author, so I really am enjoying this one. It's like short stories. And then I have yet to read an Eliza Clark novel, which I feel like is embarrassing to admit, but I'm finally getting around to doing that.
niggas turn this shit up. And they bought VC, yeah, we hooking back up. When they bring this in the club, and we got to get up. Dumb records, rock records, yeah, they living it up. Low life, what we living it up.
So I wanted to do a reading update because I finished a few books recently. Number one, What I Ate in 1 Year and Related Thoughts. I had just finished reading Annie John by Jamaica Kincaid and then Abigail by Magda Szabo, both of which were really interesting, but I kind of needed something easy to just breeze through. Stanley Tucci's books, like, he is just such a chill guy, and if you're someone who loves food and like foodie related content, highly recommend Stanley Tucci's book. It's literally just like his journal. Like, he just date by date takes you through his year filming various projects, flying back and forth to Rome. This guy's always in Italy. There's so many aspects about his life that I found so like, oh, must be nice. And then the second book that I just finished was Curtis Sittenfeld's You Think It, I'll Say It. This is a collection of short stories focusing mostly on the role of gender in relationships, class, different socioeconomic influences, and how they play out in our relationships. Overall, I kind of found this book, I think I rated it like 3.5 on Goodreads, but there were some winners. For example, The Prairie Wife to be probably the strongest short story in this book. That one completely, she snuck something in that short story that was so good. Like, The Prairie Wife and Gender Studies, which is the first short story in this book, are worth checking this out from the library alone. Like, The Prairie Wife was really good. I enjoyed Volunteers Are Shining Stars. That one kind of explores OCD and how it can affect a person's ability to even form relationships, which, I'm not someone who has OCD. No one in my immediate circle struggles with that. And so that was a very eye-opening story for me personally. I kept waiting for something bad to happen because it was written with this like very menacing, sort of paranoid tone. And when you realize what the main character / narrator is navigating, as well as what's like actually happening in the story, and pairing those two together, it was very well written. And then also this month in March, I am restarting The Artist's Way. This is the third time I have read through this book. The first 2 times I did not finish the book, not because of any failure on this book's part. It's just, this is a really intense journey to walk through. Depending on what's going on in your life at the time, that can make this easier or harder to get through. And there's already some really challenging things you have to kind of navigate in this 12-week course. But I'm really showing up with full intentionality this time. I think I'm in a much better place to actually finish all 12 weeks, but I will go into that in another video. I'm gonna actually vlog my week-by-week progress and post that here because I'm sure, a lot of us have seen sort of this resurgence of Tucci's read through of The Artist's Way and how she really credits her elevation as an artist to this book. I love that she happened to find it on the street. Like, truly, The Artist's Way will find you if you're meant to do it. So, third time's a charm. There are a few other books that I am planning on reading this month. I own this book. This is E.E. Cummings, like 100 selected poems. I'm really just trying to slow down, read the words on the page, look at his punctuation and the way that he plays with printed word on the page. And I'm just like, I love E.E. Cummings and I'm really enjoying reading this. I have to show you what my cat's doing right now. Kiwi. Kiki, what are you doing? Another poetry book that I am making my way through this month is Mary Oliver's Devotions. This is a really popular book. You've probably seen this. Someone that I follow, actually, Kaycee Dawn Oliver, I will tag her in this video, but she reads a lot of Mary Oliver and I follow her and I love her bookish content. It's just so calming. Like if you love cozy bookish content, she's your girl. But she reads a lot of Mary Oliver. I've never read anything by her before, and so I finally checked this out from the library. And then what I like about this one is that it's a collection of poems from her entire career. But if you want to dive a little deeper, I also got Mary Oliver's Dream Work. And again, this is another short one. There will probably be some repeats between the two books, but I'm fine with that.
Taking on a single day, they would just burst, they would explode. They wouldn't know what to do with it. And frankly, I think even we don't know what to do with it most of the time.
Today was the first 60-degree day we've had for, what, 7 months at this point? 6 months? So everyone and their mother's brother was outside, including us. And so we went to a popular park around here and threw the Frisbee around, went for a little walk, took my daughter to play on the playground. So we've just been spending time outside, and that's great because I can feel my internal battery recharging, if you will, like I'm defrosting. We're emerging from just, the cold dark of winter. I was really trying to, I think, lean into rest this year, not go like super gung-ho with the January, I have to change everything about my life. I've never been a big New Year's resolutions person, but this month, March in particular, it's my birthday month. I celebrate my birthday at the beginning of the month. March 1st is my birthday, so it just kind of feels more naturally attuned to, shaking off the darkness of winter. We just had daylight savings time today, so we're literally going to have more sun in our day, and just, like the rest of humanity, I'm feeling very inspired and ready to really enter spring with a sense of creative hope, creative inspiration. This is the time of year I really like to make my personal goals. So that's one reason why I'm starting the artist way now instead of in the summer when I have started it the past 2 years. Spring just feels it just coincides with personal, thawing, defrosting, and emerging from the ground, if you will. So I just want to lean into that and look at the year ahead and see, where I want to be at this point next year. I'm pretty hopeful about some things this year. And I haven't felt that in a while. I haven't felt this personal, internal space, this mental space. I don't know if that's making sense. For the past 5 years in particular, my life has been very heavy. I've experienced a lot of loss, a lot of change, on top of the political craziness right now. I've just felt very heavy. And only recently am I starting to feel that sort of falling to the wayside. Not that my life will ever be problem-free or conflict-free. That's not what I'm saying at all. But not having to go through chronic levels of personal or family emergencies has, it's just allowed me to take a deep breath and finally look around and take stock of some more long-term goals that I've been able to focus on. Anyone out there who has navigated the loss of a parent or a spouse or a child or someone that your life depended on, you go through this time frame where it feels impossible to move on And I hate to say that phrase because you never move on from loss, but in death, life continues. Like, that is a very horrible reality about grief. But in the continuing on, we discover a new layer to our own selves and to our own mentalities and futures and hope. And I'm finally allowing to look around and kind of take stock of what that might look like for me and for my family, for my future. But yeah, I'm feeling parts of myself literally defrosting and feeling ready to emerge as this new person that I have been creating. And I hope that doesn't sound superficial. I'm not like trying to change myself, but I just mean the normal evolution of ourselves as people. I think if you're not evolving, that you're not in touch with yourself and you're not in touch with your needs and your identity. So yeah, that's just kind of where I am this week. I celebrated my 35th birthday last week, and this age has kind of freaked me out a little bit. I feel like this is the first birthday I've had where I have not only felt older, but I feel like I'm like starting to really look older. And I don't mean that necessarily in a superficial sense. Like, I am not afraid of aging gracefully. I just feel like this is the first birthday I've celebrated where I've actually felt older. And that has been a completely new experience for me as a person. So kind of grappling with what that means for me and how do I channel that into healthy energy and not unhealthy energy, if you know what I mean. So, I'm just turning to, like, in those moments, I really turn to family and my loved ones and my friendships and my creative pursuits and writing and channeling all of that into something that I can one day look back on and see this like path from the beginning of my life to the end of it. I've lost some people very close to me, and being able to see their life spread out before me has been a beautiful thing to experience in loss. And I know we talk a lot about leaving a legacy for our children, and that usually only means like a financial legacy or something that they inherit, which, don't get me wrong, that's important. But I want to also leave a legacy for my family of someone who pursued what was important to them. I want to leave a legacy of creation in my wake. So I know that was a whole rambly tangent, but those are just some things I'm thinking and experiencing lately. Where are you all at? That's what I want to know. I know I'm not alone in these thoughts and feelings, so